Okay, we're just waiting now for the live stream to begin on YouTube. But this is going to be a very interesting discussion simply because this is the first time that we are going to delve into the ethics of fashion influencing. And I think the scandal, or rather the issue that former Miss Universe, Pia Wurtzbach, is facing right now is a good lesson for us to learn when it comes to protecting our image and protecting our business interests. So, welcome everybody to the live stream discussion this evening. Magandang gabi sa lahat. This is Jason Cappuccino of Sashes&Scripts, where we talk about relevant topics on the world of pageantry and fashion. And it's very interesting that our live stream this evening is an intersection between pageantry and fashion with Miss Universe 2015 Pia Wurtzbach, who is now a fashion influencer. So that's going to be, the bulk of our discussion for this evening. We are going to be delving into the world of influencer marketing and image and branding, as well as touch on a little bit on protecting, your image on social media and how to build your social media image so that it aligns with your branding. Now, this topic regarding the alleged stealing of Pia Wurtzbach of content from Style.com is something that has been in the in the discussion, in the back burner discussions ever since it was found out that the content that Pia Wurtzbach took, or rather posted on her socials, of the Carolina Herrera show was actually not a content that is originally from her. So we are going to delve into the ethics of that as well, because I think there's a lot of people who are confusing the issue with she was Miss Universe naman, so she gets a pass for stealing content or whatnot. But we have to understand that stealing in any form is something that cannot be condoned, especially that we are going to be discussing image and influencer culture. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream. Gusto ko munang hi hello kay Rodvin Fiel for joining us in our live stream this evening. Hello Rodvin. And also, I would like to thank Ping for always being the first to join our live stream and always reminding everyone to please, give this video a like so that it is more effective later when it comes to the algorithm pushing it to newer audiences. So, ayan. Now, before anything else, let's do a background muna on why we're discussing this. Now, ever since we started discussing about fashion and pageantry, there has been a lot of, fans that are like questioning, the intent why we're discussing this, why we are delving into the realm of fashion influencers and fashion in itself. So, right now, for those who are not in the know, I am teaching a subject on social media strategy for fashion. And one of the topics was a couple of the topics that we have or we are currently discussing in class is social media influencer marketing, as well as social media branding and content monetization. So these three topics, fortunately, have all converged into this topic, especially with how influencer marketing is industry on its own as of this moment. Now, before we start, this conversation, I do hope that everyone who's in here come here with an open mind and with the mindset that you're here to learn. We're here to learn from each other so that these kinds of mistakes we don't make again in the future. Now, there will be we're going to structure this live stream in such a way that we have to recap what the issue, where it started, saan nagmula yung issue, paano nagmula yung issue, and then we are going to break down some pointers on intent and probably question some of the motivations behind posting somebody else's content and making it look like it was your own. And then we are going to delve into the realm or the conversation. We will divert the conversation towards why this is a bad thing from a professional and from an academic viewpoint, because we need to understand why this is bad for Pia's image and why it is bad for current and future business prospects. So we will end, this live stream with the knowledge that this is not just a issue of forgetting about crediting someone's work or someone's someone's video on social, but it's much more than that. It is a bigger issue because you're talking about an influencer who has millions, if I'm not mistaken, around 15 to 16 million followers, versus a content creator who only has at the most around 400,000 followers. And we are going to talk about the optics, the negative optics that gives. Okay, the negative optics that is gonna affect everyone involved in this issue. Okay, so before we begin, let's greet some friends first on this live stream. Bernardino Baguio is here. Sabi niya, present po, sir. Family Reyes is also here. Sabi niya, good evening. And kaway-kaway. Ayan. So, thank you very much for joining us in this live stream. And I do hope that everyone, will not only learn from this live stream, but also get additional perspective from, someone who is a content creator myself. Okay? I think let's start the conversation with how this did happen. I mean, where did this thing go wrong? Because it's important that, sorry, let me just adjust our camera a bit, because there. Okay, so we have to start from the very beginning. We have to start, how did this come about? Why did it started? And what are the motivations, behind all of this, chaos that happened on social? So first things first, it is the New York Fashion Week over the past several days, and one of the shows, that Pia has attended was the Carolina Herrera show, allegedly. Now, Pia has a post, if I'm not mistaken, where she was outside in New York with the Brooklyn Bridge at the background, if I'm not mistaken. And she was hashtagging Carolina Herrera in her post. And there were, if I'm not mistaken, there were comments on her social asking, okay, why are you not inside the venue? Why are you not posting, photos or videos from inside the venue? And people were starting to think that she might not be inside the Carolina Herrera show. So I think it took several days, or a couple of days, or a day or two before she posted a reel. And then eagle-eyed fashion aficionados, people who are really invested in fashion and fashion influencers and content creators, started to notice that the reel that she posted is a little bit blurry in terms of quality. And it might not be her content because there is a similar content that they have seen in another Instagram page that is quite similar in terms of the angle and the positioning of the camera. And eagle-eyed investigators, I would say, because they really took time to check and double check the content. And they noticed that this is actually a reel that was posted by the account at style.com, who is, what do you call this, who is a mainstay at the New York Fashion Week on a regular basis. They noticed that the original reel is actually from this lesser known content creator to most Filipinos. Now, style.com is a content creator who is popular among the people who cover New York Fashion Week. So it is understandable that he might not be as popular as Pia Wurtzbach, who has around 15 or 16 million followers, while style.com, although not as big as Pia, still has a large following at around 400,000 or 300,000 plus followers on Instagram. Now, what happened was that fans started to tag style.com on Pia's post, and saying that this is actually your reel, not hers. And what happened next was that Pia archived her reels after the backlash from fans, and then re-uploaded with proper credits after being called out by netizens. Now, what was also observed there was that all of the comments that was tagging or calling her out for the alleged theft of content were deleted from the Instagram reel. Now, thankfully, we have several mga Instagram accounts who were quick in their phones and were able to screenshot. And if you're familiar with Dressmakers 898 on Instagram, the account was actually one of those who first posted about this, and did a post, and now actually several posts on the original caption of the original reel that had no mention at all of style.com being the source of the original content. So what happened was, it was only after Pia was called out and was inundated on her social media feed that the content that she posted was not actually from hers but was swiped from another content creator, that she made the edits on the proper crediting of the reel from style.com. Now, let's point out these first before we continue the conversation, because one, style.com, whenever he posts on his feed, especially on his on his reels, the first few milliseconds of his post is always about a screenshot of the title of the reel with a watermark of his logo. And then it is quite interesting to note that the reel that was posted on Pia's Instagram account had no logo. So the initial several milliseconds of the original full-length video were removed, and the fact that it was erased prior to posting, you can make the conclusion that there was a conscious removal on her part or on her social media team's part, that to post the content without the logo. Because if you screen recorded it, it is possible that the screen recording would have captured the beginning of the reel itself, where the logo and the title of the title card of the reel is included at the beginning of the reel. So I think we have to acknowledge that as a fact, that the mere fact of removing the initial portion of the video where the watermark is located, you know that there was a deliberate move to do that. Now, the second thing is, why did it take a long time, or why did it take some time? Why did it come to the point where she was being called out before she edited and credited the original content creator? Which goes with the question that if she was not found out, then would she have left the reel without proper credits? So that is one of the questions that a lot of netizens has been asking, have been making a question on this, on this debacle. If she was not found out, will she still, credit who created the original content? Because if the question is no, no, rather the answer, if the answer is no, then you know that there is malice there. Now, if it was a innocent mistake that they forgot, then why not make an apology on the caption saying that, oh, it's our mistake, we take acknowledgement of it, we forgot to what do you call this, to tag the original creator, and this would have made this issue disappear quickly, just like when I made the mistake with the Anthony Ramirez several weeks back. I took acknowledgement of the mistake that I made. Now, was it a deliberate mistake? Of course not. Everybody makes mistake. However, the mere fact that you don't own up to the mistake and then just try to gloss it over tells something about your character, tells something about your integrity. So this is one of the things that fans have been pointing out with regards to Pia, because it only takes a few minutes to make an edit, to do proper crediting, which it took a backlash from fans before she did that. Okay? Now, the thing is, because of this issue, because of what happened, we are now wondering how many of these, how many of her past posts are actually her own content. Because now we get to worry, or we get to question whether or not a lot of her posts on her social media were actually posts from her, or did she ask someone from inside the show to get footage for her and paid for that content and posted it on her content, or did she take other content creators' content and posted it as her own? So these are the questions now that is percolating in the heads of a lot of fans, because we now are questioning the integrity and the intention behind all of her social media posts, that this might be inauthentic, or it might be content that is swiped out or swiped from other content creators. Now, let's take a break muna and decongest, because I think there is a need for us to question these motivation to ask intelligent questions with regards to this post, because there has been a lot of backlash when I posted on social regarding the issue, and I think that a lot of fans, especially the fans of Pia, who are very butthurt, who are very affected, who are very, hurt by what we've posted, seems to forget that we're asking questions. Why did she post content that is not hers? And that is a question that no one of them, nobody was able to answer. Nobody was able to give, an adequate and a answer that is satisfactory, because right now all I see are ad hominem attacks uh, regarding fans and pages being paid for, to make her look bad. However, we are not the ones who created this mess, because all of this were created by Pia and her team, that now is being talked about because people are going to talk about anything that is, that is out of the ordinary, something that is, very sensationalist, because we do not expect a former Miss Universe to be swiping content from a lesser popular content creator and make it look as if it was her own. So let's be clear with that. We did not create this mess. You have to credit Pia and her team with this mess, because we did not force her to post a video from style.com on her feed and then make content out of that issue. It just so happened that the content was posted by her or her team, and it just so happened that we picked it up. So I think we need to acknowledge that, and no amount of ad hominem attacks on pageant fans and on our page would dissuade us from thinking that this is not something that we created. This was something that was created by Pia and her team. So unless they are able to answer that question, then there's no point engaging with these people, because people who have no who cannot accept truth, who cannot accept evidence that is not fabricated, that is very much, data-based, will not accept any kind of truth, even if the truth is facing them eye to eye, because they will stay blind because of their convictions. So, yon. Okay? So, before we continue, I think let's go over some, some comments here, because there are some comments that I see now popping up. Okay? So, let's start from the top, from the very, from the earlier mga comments. Okay? Carmela Diaz is waving. Hello. Chesty is saying, watching from Vietnam, so interested in what you are sharing with us. Thank you for being interested as well. I am a fit potato says, yes, we double check. There was indeed an anomaly. SL says, shady moves. Okay, JMDA says, yes, my comment there was also deleted. So again, this is not an isolated incident where, it was just one comment that was deleted. You cannot argue that Instagram is hiding these comments, because sometimes even the comments that are hidden by Instagram, you can still view it if you click on the tab that says comments hidden by Instagram. Okay, so there. Having managed social media since 2014, I've seen the growth and the changes on social media platforms, and I believe that when a comment is not visible, and it's not visible as well if you use other accounts to view the comment, then it was deleted. Okay. Wilbert Herrera says, hello, we'll be back to watch the replay. No worries, Wilbert. We will still be here after the live stream is done. We will be posting this as an episode. Okay, John Borat says, hot guy. Okay, thank you. Michelle Magcalas says, good point, no logo at all. Which is quite fascinating because all of Style.com's reels and even the first set card on a carousel post is always the title of that post. So it's kind of weird that you remove the watermark, the first few milliseconds that shows the watermark, and then not credit the original content creator. Diba? Parang, so what's the intent there? Right? So we have to, ask intelligent questions like this. Okay. Oh, I think Jamborat is thinking of what's his name of Style.com. His name is Becca something. He looks hot. Yeah, he's good looking. Okay. JMDA says that should have stayed deleted from her feed. The problem is if it was deleted, then there's no point of deleting it and making it hidden permanently because there are already screenshots. Diba? So it's moot point at this point. Okay. Aji Datoon says this is so hateful. We unfollow. Okay, bye. Aji Datoon. We don't do exit interview if people are unfollowing us. Unfortunately, that's not our style to hold on to people who do not want to belong in our community. Okay. Glenn Taro says only hateful if you tolerate this kind of behaviors, which I agree. If someone has presented you with evidence saying that there's wrongdoing happening, will you consider that hateful because it's directed towards someone that you admire, or is that anger directed to the wrong people because you were disappointed by the people that you admire? So maybe that kind of projection needs to be reevaluated on a personal note. Okay. So I hope Aji Datoon, you try to think if is that anger directed towards the right person. Okay. Under construction says, for those who still believes that what she did is okay and not to be taken personally, then Hunty, have yourself checked, because honestly, when a wrongdoing is already shown and there are numerous evidences pointing towards the truth of that wrongdoing, what kind of evidence would make it okay for you to believe? Diba? Parang ang hirap. There's a saying in Tagalog that goes like, ang hirap gisingin ng nagtutulog-tulugan. Okay? Ang hirap gisingin ng gising. Meaning that it's difficult to show someone the truth when they are already, blinded by the lies. Okay? There's a comment here from I Am Fit Potato says, her initial posting of the video, she makes it appear as if she was in the show, because some netizens were asking why she was not posting pics or reels of her being inside the show. So let's take into consideration the current one of the posts of Kelsey Merritt, who is one of those attendees who were invited at the Carolina Herrera show. She showed in her post, her being at the photo wall of the event, and she showed a different angle of the fashion show as compared to other content creators. So that she was really there, present inside the show. So I agree, there should be original content when you are posting as an influencer or as a guest inside the show, especially if you are an influencer or a content creator. Okay. Non says, so I can fake my attendance on fashion shows pala. Is that the common practice among famous people? Okay, non, you can actually fake attendance on a fashion show by just being outside the venue. And then, perhaps when the venue is, when the fashion show is finished, you can go inside and take, selfies inside the venue. The thing is, the difficult part here is when people will be asking for reels or videos of what happened inside the show, and usually influencers who are actually inside the show would post videos in their stories first before posting it on their actual feed. So that is usually how would you know if the influencer in question is really at the venue. There is a what do you call this? There is a paper trail, so to speak, of what happened in the show, and sometimes there would be a photo of the invites. There would be a photo of the entrance going inside the venue, and perhaps a photo or a video of the setup and the stage design of the fashion show. So that is when you know if that person was really inside the venue. Because honestly, if you are inside a fashion show or inside an event, you would take a lot of pics. Because right now, in this climate on social media, pics or it did not happen. So I think that is one of the what do you call this? One of the things that a lot of influencers do so that people would know that they were really inside the venue. Okay. Now, under construction says again, authenticity, and we will be talking about that a little bit later on. And we're going to deep dive a little bit with authenticity and how it ties to the image and the branding of a brand or an influencer or a content creator. Okay? Michelle Magcanla says, I watched her interview with I Am Super Bianca, and Pia gave advice about being authentic, real, and true. Walk the talk. Okay? And Michelle continues, and from someone who encourages people to think before you click, practice what you preach. Okay? There's actually a meme going around in the comment section in our post on this, saying that click before you think and then edit later. Quite witty. I should say. Okay. Nasaan na tayo? There is this comment from Eric Concepcion. Sabi niya, maiba tayo, I love Pia. Pero sa totoo lang, ang tigas na ng mukha niya. Ang tigas ng tignan. Dami na pinaritoke kay Doc Bello. Lalo na nung binibining Pilipinas 2024, yung pumarada sila sa coronation, yung tribute pa. Okay? Glenn Tero says, parang sinisira ni Bello mukha ni Pia. Okay. I think Pia is a very pretty girl. So I think there's no need for a lot of invasive procedures to be done on her face because she's already pretty. I'm just not sure if the direction that she's going is something that would help her career long term. Okay? Jazz YT says, I think she is also fueling the fire through her captions recently. Like she's enjoying the attention she's getting through hate. That is what we call rage baiting, where you enrage people to comment and engage in your post or in your feed. So the best way to avoid rage baiting is to not engage or comment or like or share any of those content that you know would make you feel bad. Okay? Okay, there's a question here from Michelle Magcala saying, question, do you think all of this should be part of her social media strategy? It is possibly. It can be possibly a strategy because it creates engagement on her feed. Okay? And continuing with Michelle's question, as someone who has a husband that has digital media also, they might have high caliber PR and social media teams. So we're not privy to the information of how her husband runs his business. However, for someone na on the social media sphere, definitely they would know who they would know the algorithm changes and what the algorithm likes. And the thing about algorithm is that it does not discriminate between a negative or a positive comment. So as long as you keep on engaging on the feeds of these people, that enrages you, that is feeding into the algorithm, feeding into the engagement of their post. So there. Okay, Awi Chris is saying, what are your thoughts na tila pinapakinggan ka ni Tita Belay na super obsessed ka na daw kay Pia? She hopes, she hopes bayad ka daw, if not weird obsession na. It's kind of funny because that you keep on people keep mentioning na bayad daw ako when it's been clear ever since that I am in good financial standing. Nabanggit ko naman in my previous live stream that I come from a family of means. I come from a family that, did quite well financially. And I don't think I need to explain myself to these people. So, whether it's Tita Belay or Tita Lavinia who are making, making comments, kung hindi naman nila kayang sabihin sa akin in my face, ng personal sa mukha ko, parang it's not gonna affect me. Simply because if they really have a problem with me and I consider them, people who are part of the industry, colleagues in the industry, if you have a problem with me, tell it to my face, di ba? Hindi yung magpapablind item ka or mananaksak ka sa likod, because that's not the way you do things professionally. So if they have a problem with my content, then that's their problem. It's not my problem. If they have a problem with the way I do my content, then the best thing that they can do is improve their content. Because right now, if you look at their content, it's really very, very sporadic nowadays. I invest with good topics in my feed. I invest on good graphics. Even if sometimes, kung minsan, pag madalian, may mga pagkakamali, may mga edits din ako na hindi ganun kaganda. However, I make the effort. And there's two of them in their feed. There's just me in my social media, social media platforms. So I don't think that there is any animosity coming from my part if they criticize my feed, because that's their prerogative, that's their opinion, and I will not definitely control other people's opinion of me, because again, that's not my business. My business is what do I think about myself, diba? Can I still live with myself after all of the shenanigans? If the answer is yes, then I continue. Life goes on, diba? There's nothing, I think there is this famous quote, if I'm not mistaken, by Robert De Niro, that says that what you think of me is not my business. So I'm just adapting, that kind of, mentality, that stoic mentality, that what you think of me should not affect me, because that is your perception. And your perception is limited only on what you see on social media or what you see on limited settings. 99% of the times I have a life outside that you don't see. So we leave them, we let them have their opinion. Kasi everyone is entitled to theirs, di ba? Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? So I hope, Awi, I was able to answer your question. Okay? I am a fit potato is asking, can you share an insight as to why Pia was not present instead? Liza Soberano was in Bulgari event in New York. I have no idea. That's one of the things that I'm asking myself, because for the longest time, all of Pia's fans is actually asking is actually telling, rather not asking, is they are telling that Pia is the first Filipino, ambassador of the brand. So if Pia is in New York and there is a Bulgari event in New York, why is not the ambassador invited? And instead, what was invited was not even a recognized brand ambassador in the Philippines. So I think, we have to also think into media mileage na terms, because right now, from my perspective, I think Bulgari would benefit more with Liza Soberano in their event more than Pia, simply because Liza Soberano has a Hollywood career. There is a budding Hollywood career for Liza that, brands will recognize, that who knows, maybe in the next 5 years, she might be the next biggest, Filipino Hollywood star that there is. So I think from a brand perspective, I am now investing on someone who has a bright future ahead of her, so that once that she makes it into the top, dala-dala kami. We are included in her rise towards the top. So I think Bulgari as a brand is looking at the career trajectory of Liza Soberano. That is why she was invited in their event. That's my take, because I might be wrong, but usually when I look at this stuff, I am, looking from a perspective of someone who was working with international brands before. So majority of the time, the brands would think of a budding actress, or a personality that's gonna have a breakthrough in his career, and might be, the next A-lister in Hollywood. So I think they are just making the right investment on Liza as of this moment. So that's my read. Okay. Feel free to guess, just like me, on this question from I Am Fit Potato, because it would be, it would be interesting to know what you think as well. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Okay, sabi ni Jazz YT, I don't get why people still think that this is about heart. This is about P alone. And why does she need to do those nasty things to get the attention of the brands? I kind of agree, because a lot of fans rather, keep on dragging the name of Heart Evangelista in this conversation, when it's clearly that it was Pia who made the mistake. And I hope that she acknowledges that, and apologize to her fans for doing that, because it's really very shady, and it's very unbecoming, and it's very unethical, I believe. And I will be explaining this a little bit more later. Okay? Sabi ni porket nag-fact check, bayad na agad. Ayon. Okay, I think nagalaw ko yung tawag nito, yung mouse. I'm sabi ni nasaan ba to? Jazz YT, sabi niya, Heart's name getting dragged into this situation benefits Pia pa nga sa mga fashion weeks. I kind of agree. She is riding on her coattails, because she's getting the media mileage by dragging Heart into this mess. Rather by the fans dragging Heart into this kind of mess, not Pia. Okay. Continue ni Jazz, pero sana they acknowledge and do it in a good way, hindi yung nag-delete pa ng mga previous posts that she likes Heart. Okay. AW says, we are with you, Sashes. Heart emoji. Thank you. Sabi ni Carmela Diaz, I am with you 100%. Thank you, Carmela. Sabi ni Dusky, I am with Sashes, go, go, go. Okay, Michelle Magcalas says, thank you, Sashes. This could give you some nega implications like bashers, but we appreciate your courage on enlightening us with this. Free social media lessons. Hehehehe. Okay? Aurora Marie, let's move on from you know from from your comment. Ayokong patulan nitong ayokong lumaki yung issue because ako naman wala naman akong issue sa kanila. Siguro sila may issue sa akin. Pero I think it's just because si Tita Lavinia, kaibigan niya si Pia. Pero syempre, bilang kaibigan, ipagtatanggol mo yung kaibigan mo. So naiintindihan ko din naman yung kung saan siya nanggagaling. Just like when nung nagkaroon ng away si Lavinia at saka si Adam, hindi ako pumili ng tawag nito ng sides. I heard them out both, and I think I would like to believe that at the end of the day, even with all of these all of these changes and what do you call this, all of these not changes, all of these shifting in dynamics and shifting in terms of our opinions, we respect each other at the level of professionals. Kasi I look at these people as colleagues, and I will address them with the proper etiquette and with the proper decorum that is benefiting of a colleague. Because alam ko naman na pinanganak akong professional, and I am going to do as professionals do in such fiery na mga settings. So there. Okay. Sabi ni Mary Margaret Gregorio, yung mga captions na ginagamit ni Pia, yung same words na pinost ni Hart, I believe sadya yun. Okay. Dusky is asking, do you know the opinion of the original creator of Pia stealing? I have no idea because when I was looking at the feed of style.com, super professional din yung the way that he is dealing yung situation. So I wouldn't know whether or not he is aware. I am sure he is aware, but I cannot confirm that. My gut feeling is telling me na he is aware, but I don't think that style.com is acknowledging it. Okay? Okay. Precious Nehemiah is asking here a very interesting question. What can you say about some people who accuse you of having a personal vendetta against P? Okay. Here's the thing. Kapag may ginawa ka na hindi maganda, may ginawa ka na newsworthy, may ginawa ka na mapapataas ang kilay ng ibang tao, may ginawa ka na maganda, may ginawa ka na mabuti, I will acknowledge that. And because she is a public figure, anything that she does is open to public scrutiny. That's first and foremost. The difference is, this is something that is very damaging to image. That is very newsworthy. Other pageant pages will not touch this because Pia is a gold mine when it comes to engagement. We all know that. However, dahil tayo na lang siguro yung naiiwan, we're one of the few remaining pageant pages who have a independent voice, who is not afraid to be called out, who is not afraid to admit mistakes, who is not afraid to touch delicate topics, dangerous topics like this. We feel we feel that we are in the right position to talk about this because we have no personal investment on it. If she did something good, we will acknowledge that. If there was a question on on her legitimacy as a influencer, we will acknowledge that as well. We will make a topic out of that as well because she is a public figure, much like Heart Evangelista, much like Bea Alonso, much like Kelsey Merritt, much like Liza Soberano, who has been in the news for fashion and celebrity and beauty. So with our content that is spread out between fashion and pageantry, Pia is right smack in that middle because she is at the intersection of pageant, being a former Binibining Pilipinas winner, a former Miss Universe winner, and now as a fashion influencer who does fashion weeks. So, imposible na iiwasan namin yung content on her. Much like, iiwasan din ba namin ang content on Heart Evangelista despite all of these, mga bashers and trolls saying na bayad kami ni Heart? Of course not. Because I know that magsalita ako ng positive or negative about these people, there will always be people who has an opinion on me or against me. And I cannot control their thoughts. So, the best thing that I can do is control mine. So, I don't think that I don't think that any personal vendetta would factor into this. Because if you do something that is newsworthy, I am going to post it on my feed. And I am very selective with what I post on my feed because I want that the conversations would be conversations that would enrich everyone, much like this. Dahil we have to learn something from all of this mess that Pia and her team has done with regards to the alleged stolen content from another content creator. Okay? So now let's talk about the repercussions of the of this issue, because from an academic and a professional viewpoint, this is bad, and I am telling you why in a couple of minutes. Okay, and why is this bad? Because one, it is bad for her image, and two, when her image as an influencer is starting to crack, is starting to show signs of crumbling down, then that would be bad for business prospects, current and prospective and future business prospects, because everything is all tethering down on image, especially when you are a fashion influencer. Why? Because one, image is everything when you are a fashion influencer. And now, unahin na muna siguro natin, let's start with the conversation on why this is bad for business. Okay, let's preface this first with this. All influencers are content creators. Okay? But not all creators are influencers. Because the difference between a content creator and an influencer is that between the two, the influencers create content meant to promote or sell products and services. Content creators like me only create content for the pleasure of ourselves. We do this as a passion project. So that's the difference between a influencer and a content creator. I am a content creator. Heart is a influencer. Pia is an influencer. There is a difference with that. Although we both create content, the difference between their content and my content is that I create content based on the things that I like, things that I want to tackle, things that interests me, without having to sell an actual product or service. That is not my intent. That is why on that level, I am a content creator. However, when you create content with the intention that people buy the products or the services that you talk about in your feed, the moment that you have brand sponsorships, you have sponsorships with clinics, with beauty products, that is when you become an influencer, because you are influencing people to buy from you, to buy on the lifestyle that you have, buy things that you endorse. So that is the difference between an influencer and a content creator like me. Heart is a content creator. Pia is also a content creator, but because they influence people to buy what they post in their social media feeds, they are also influencers. So, yun yung difference. Okay? Now, why is this bad? Because when a influencer steal content, it is now a reflection of the brands that they partner with, that they endorse. Because essentially, who you get as your endorser is a reflection of the brand. Okay? That is why when Donald Trump, the owner of Miss Universe, said something about migrants, its business partner, NBC Universal, cut ties with him by selling back their share of the Miss Universe pageant back to Donald Trump, because they don't want the larger Universal, NBC Universal brand to suffer or be associated with the inflammatory comments by Donald Trump. So that is, they are protecting their brand, because they don't want that their brand be associated with someone who is either misogynistic, someone who might be racist, someone who might be, a good reason for people to boycott their universal brand because of what he's saying. So yun yung kinakailangan nating maintindihan. Once a brand endorser misbehaves, yung mga brands, they distance away from these endorsers, from these personalities. So this is also the reason why, if you remember, Kanye West, after some racist comments against, against what do you call this? Slavery was a choice. I think that was one of the things that was inflammatory to his image. That was inflammatory against his fellow African Americans. Brands like brand endorsements like, I think, Adidas or Nike, dropped him because of the negative associations with the personality, and they don't want that to be associated with their brand. So this is going to be a terrible dent on the image of Pia, because it's not helping her image, essentially. Okay, so now because of this, and as a consequence of this issue, that it's not professional, what she did. It's not good for her image. Brand partnerships might stop with doing business with her, or they might not renew, business partnerships with her later on. Okay, and I'll explain this in a little bit. Okay, bakit maaapektuhan yung mga endorsements niya because of this? Because una, when sunod-sunod, when the negative publicity about her or surrounding her keeps on going and going and keeps on piling up, brands might start to think that it's not helping their image, that we have someone associated with this shady stuff. Okay, And because of that, brand partnerships might be at risk. They might be able to get new na mga partnerships, but yung mga long-term na mga partnerships might be at risk because of this. So I think this is something that Pia and her team should really think about. They should start thinking of doing things the proper way, the right way, because this image, like the issue on copycat, styling, and you know, like essentially, you know, copying Heart Evangelista's fashionista style, and now this, you know, the alleged stealing of content. It shows a lack of untrustworthiness. It shows a lack of professionalism and ethics. And when you pretend that you are in a show when you're not, and you're manufacturing an image surrounding that, it becomes inauthentic. And when things become inauthentic, people will now start to question your integrity. Because why would you post that, or why would you insinuate that you were in a event when you were not there? Diba? So you need to, you know, be mindful that demure, charot. You need to be, you know, you need to be smart about this, dahil hindi nakakadagdag ng ganda points sa image mo yung mga nangyayaring ganito. Now, because of the issue that kaya siya nag-post, because to prove that she was in the show, she was invited in the show, ang image ngayon that is being created, the optics that is being created by all of these series of bad decisions, is that Pia is clout chasing. And if you start to clout chasing, you start to, you know, become a clout chaser, it is a reflection of the weak brand that you have. So yun yung consequence. When you start clout chasing, it shows that you have a weak brand. You have as an influencer, you know, you have a weak influencer brand, and that is really bad, considering that you have 16 million followers, but it does not translate with invites to a show. It does not translate with multiple brand endorsements. It does not translate to, you know, to real, tangible, measurable returns on the brands that you are endorsing. Kasi, let's take into example Heart Evangelista. The reason why brands are investing on her, it's simply because she has the power to make things sell out. She has sold out the Puma Cat na shoe. She has sold out the Avon bra that she wore during the Avon event, and within 24 hours napa-sold out niya yung item na yon. When she posted a YSL shades that was retailing at around $360, she made that sold out across the globe. And when it was sold out, YSL had to reproduce that shades in their stores, in their outlets, and they had to pad up yung price. So from $360, suddenly that specific shade that Heart Evangelista made sold out is now retailing at around $900. So that's four. When she posted about the Boucheron rings, it was sold out. When she when she endorsed Philip Stein, or was it Philip Patek Philippe watch, it was sold out as well. When she endorsed the use of Bulgari Serpenti in Singapore, nag-sold out yung tawag ito, yung necklace na yon. So there is reasonable evidence to think that Heart Evangelista is a good investment for these brands because napapagalaw niya yung merchandise. And that is the kind of brand strength that you want as an influencer. Kasi kung wala ka nun and you start clout chasing, then it just exposes your influencer brand to be weak, na hindi strong yung presence mo, that you are only able to move conversations on social but not necessarily move merchandise into the you're not able to move merchandise on the shelves. So I think that is something that is really a conversation starter. Kasi you need to think, why does she do this if kaya naman niyang magpagalaw ng mga merchandise, 'di ba? Kung kaya niyang maimpluwensyahan yung mga tao na bumili, hindi niya kinakailangan na magpanggap na nandito siya sa show for presence, because that becomes secondary. That becomes something that is not a major thing, because you're now thinking on, if I post this, what is the conversion rate in terms of merchandise sold, in terms of in terms of the metrics on sales? Because right now, what fans are pretty much judging everyone on when it comes to social media presence and social media value are the MIV, EMV. But that's the thing. But the thing is, those two metrics are just two of many other metrics. Okay? Because if you are a brand, you're also looking at social listening, looking at the quality of conversations on social media. Kung positive ba yung comments on your brand because of the post of the influencer, or if the comments in the influencer post is about the influencer, not your product, you're going to look at that as a brand as well. And second, that's not just the thing that you're going to look at. If I am a brand owner, I'm also going to look at conversion rate, meaning how many people saw this versus how many people is buying at the stores. For example, kung mag-post let's say si Pia ng Bulgari na necklace, gumagalaw ba yung mga Bulgari na necklace, yung mga serpentine na necklace at the stores? This is what you call conversion rates. When you look at tangible, measurable na mga metrics in terms of monetary value that goes back into the brand. Kasi ang EMV and MIV, these are imaginary values. These are not actual money that goes into the brand or that are being paid into the influencers. Hindi ito ang gauge hindi ito yung end all and be all ng looking at measurements on the effectivity of influencers' capacity to influence sales and move products and services. Okay? So, with that being said, now, because there are metrics, there are also soft metrics. And one of those soft metrics is judging the creativity of the content, judging at the authenticity of the content. So, when you are not creating authentic and original content, which seems to be the weakness of Pia's brand, doon ka nagkakaroon ng problema dahil unti-unting gumuguho yung image mo because wala kang solid foundation where you create content that is sustainable. Kasi kung hindi sustainable yung content, hindi based on an actual na tawag ito, an actual na vision, mission, and strong personality profile yung content mo, if you don't have your own personal style, if you don't have your own personal definition of what fashion is, yun yung mga pundasyon. Those are the foundations of your brand. Those are the foundations of your social media influencer career. So if you're not authentic to yourself, if you're not creating original content, then you're just being a copycat. And again, if you are a copycat of someone else, that sphere is already taken by the pioneer. The second, the copycat, the replica, the doppelganger will not have the same effectivity as the original. So I think that is something that any influencer would know and would really have to make sure that is taken care of first and foremost in their influencer career. They have to define who they are and how are they going to communicate that originality, that authenticity of who they are into visual means, especially with the way that they put on clothes together. Because if you are a brand, if you are a influencer and you are your own brand, your image should not fluctuate. Your style should not fluctuate dependent on who is dressing you. Kinakailangan consistent siya dahil ikaw ang magdidikta ng ano yung style mo doon sa stylist mo. Si stylist ang mag-a-adjust sa'yo. And if you don't have a personal style, then doon tayo may problema, especially if you are a fashion influencer. Now, let's also delve into the ethics. Kasi I think marami dito sa mga fans, especially fans ni Pia, na they are questioning bakit daw tayo galit, bakit daw natin tinitira si Pia when all of these issues were not created by me. Okay? Hindi tayo ang nag-post ng video na galing sa iba without crediting. Okay? So, when you are a content creator or an influencer, you have to understand that relationships are built on trust. And nobody wants to deal with one who has no ethics. Kasi stealing content from another creator is unethical. Okay? If you don't credit someone for the hard work that they did and making it pass as if the content that they created is yours, that is unethical. Because, imaginein mo this situation. If it happened that meron akong ginawang content at swipe ni Adam, for example, at ipinost niya doon sa feed niya without crediting me as the one who made the content, or removing my watermark on the content, magagalit ako dahil pinaghirapan ko yung content na yon. Same thing if I do that to Adam. Kasi bilang mga content creators on social media, we have to respect each other's process. We have to respect each other's time and effort in creating content that our followers would consume, would appreciate us doing. At hindi ko gagawin kay Adam yung ganon, na nanakawin ko ang content niya. Magpapaalam ako sa kanya na, Adam, I am going to use your content for a content that I am going to make. I will credit you as the originator or the original poster of this content. And when I repost any of Adam's content on my Instagram stories, I make sure that I tag him. I make sure that kapag ipinost ko yung content niya, nakikita at the bottom yung pangalan niya, so that people would know that the content that I posted on my Instagram stories is from Hey Adam G. So ganun yon. We need to practice professionalism in this sphere because napakaliit ng pageant media and nagkikita-kita din kami in our in our coverages, and we want to have a positive working relationship with each other. So it is important that we credit where credit is due, as they say. Give to, di ba sinabi na rin ni Jesus yan in the Bible, that give Caesar what is due Caesar and give God what is due God. So ganun lang din siya na respetuhan ng trabaho ng iba. Okay? Dahil all of these, needs to be done in an ethical and professional manner. And I think that is the issue doon sa influencer career ni Pia, because she has been doing misstep upon misstep that has been deemed shady. So, anyone who is in this business of influencing or on social media needs to learn professionalism, needs to learn how to do things the right way. Wala namang magiging issue kapag gumawa ka ng career on social media, as long as wala kang inaapakang tao, wala kang naagrabyadong tao. So yun lang yon. Okay? I think we're here to read some more comments. Nasa na ba tayo? Nasa na ba tayo? Okay, I think there's a comment here from Mary Margaret Gregorio saying, I think aware si Style.com, pero Style.com will not waste his time to confront her. Di naman siya super relevant sa fashion industry. Wala pa talaga siyang own identity. Okay? Jazz Whitey says, she just posted, ha ha ha, parang nang-aasar pa about CH. Okay. Sabi ni Dusky, Pia is a bad influencer. Dagdag ni Jazz Whitey, she just posted an alibi. Okay? I think it's good to see na she just posted kasi if it was in reaction to my live stream, 'di ba? Para at least medyo nayuyugyug yung team niya na ayusin naman nila, na maging ethical naman sana sa bawat ginagawa on her career. Okay? Sandra Fernando, sa tingin nyo po, kinopya talaga ni Pia si Hart? Ano po ba ang talagang tingin nyo? Sandra Fernando, okay, I have posted, I think, more than 20 screenshots on Facebook and YouTube. It's the pinned post on my Instagram. Yung mga instances where either actual na damit ang ang isinuot and a screenshot. So I think you should just go and check that out and find for yourself. Kasi hindi ko masasagot yung the rest of your questions because it seems that you are so close-minded with the with what you're thinking, na you're not open to look at factual evidence. Kasi based on yung mga ibang comments mo dito sa live stream, I think you're agitated. Okay? And you really need to, you really need to look at evidences factually. Kasi hindi namin invento yung mga ebidensyang to. Screenshot siya. Walang inalter, walang inedit, walang Photoshop. These screenshots are taken as is. Okay? Michelle Magcalas is asking, do you think Carolina Herrera would benefit from this? Others may say that that would be a free marketing for CH because she posted CH products, though she might not be really invited to their show. I think this is one of the ways for some influencers to get the attention of the brands. The thing kasi here is it's a gray area, the way that you get attention from the brands. There are ethical and there are non-ethical ways to do stuff on social media. So it just depends on where your moral compass lies. Okay? Sabi ni AW, true. Okay? And sabi, continue ni AW, first time watching your live, love it. Thank you, AW. Okay, Precious Nehemiah is saying here, P has 14 million followers, pero ilang percent ba yung may purchasing power? I think yung tenure as a brand ambassador or endorser is a good gauge to check if effective ka as an endorser. That's what I've been saying because Pia's profile of followers are the FMCG market, not necessarily the luxury market. So, I think nandun yung capacity ni Pia na magbenta if it was geared towards the FMCG na market. Okay, Claire Cervantes, nag-post na po siya, na late daw siya, kaya di nakarating dahil sa traffic. Nag-post siya ng, I think, invite ng CH, but no name of her, unlike sa ibang invites na pinost niya na may name. Ayun. So, malay natin kung kanya talaga yung, yung invite, diba? Okay. Street. I am a fit potato. Sabi niya, regardless if she was indeed invited, the issue is still stands that she initially stole a video. I agree. Kasi yung post na yon, it does not address the stolen video. It does not address the fact that she posted a video that is not hers and conveniently forgot to credit the proper owner of the content that she posted, and only when she was called out that she made the decision to credit style.com. Okay, so that is a question that should be answered first and foremost, not because na late siya. That is an excuse, not an explanation, and at this point in time we all want an explanation, not an excuse. Okay. Mary Margaret Gregoria is asking, bakit yung pinost na invitation punit? Walang name niya. Invitation ba yun o poster? Di ko mahanap yung sample ng invitation. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But then again, that's not the issue. The issue is, why did she post content that is not hers without properly crediting initially the owner of the video? Diba? Sabi ni Claire Cervantes, yung nga lang walang name yung invitation, questionable daw yung invitation. Okay? Tanes Ira Cajes is asking, bakit ka galit kaya kay Pia? Tanes, hindi galit, kundi nagtatanong lang. Ano yung motibasyon kung bakit nag-post siya ng video na hindi kanya? Okay? Telling the truth is not hate. Telling the truth and asking the right questions is simply telling the truth and asking the right questions. Okay? Where are we? Sabi ni Dusky, ang alibay ni Pia is unacceptable. We don't care if invited. Ang issue is yung thou shall not steal. Okay? Sandra Fernando is asking, bakit ka naglalaan ng panahon sa issue? Oo, sige, hindi ikaw ang gumawa ng issue, pero bakit mo pinagtuutuanan ng pansin? Sandra Fernando, we are a content creator focusing on pageantry and fashion. And Pia is right smack in the middle of pageantry and fashion. So, syempre, pag-uusapan namin because it's an issue between a pageant personality in the fashion industry. So, siguro naman that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense for you, hindi ko alam kung anong klaseng neurosynapses ang hindi mag-connect dahil it is self-explanatory. Plus, this is a public figure and we discuss people in the public sphere, especially on the sphere of pageantry and fashion. So, kung hindi siya kumonek sa'yo, wala kaming maibigay na rason kung bakit hindi siya kumukonect sa'yo. Okay? Nasa sa'yo na yung problema kung hindi mo siya magets. Okay? Sabi ni Tanes Ira Cajes, focus ka na lang kay heart na idol mo. Tanes, it is possible to walk, chew gum at the same time, and look at your watch ng sabay-sabay. You can always have, people have the ability to multitask. Okay? Plus, again, hindi si heart yung topic natin dito. Nadadamay siya kasi kayong mga fans ang nagdadala ng pangalan ni Heart in a conversation that is all about Pia. And I am starting to think that the fans of Pia would mention Heart Evangelista because they know, you know, that anything that is Heart Evangelista related creates engagement. Okay? I'm starting to think that sinasadya nyo na dalhin yung pangalan ni Heart dahil alam nyong maraming nagmamahal kay Heart na fans niya at ipagtatanggol siya. So please lang naman, if the issue is Pia and her issue of posting about a content that is not hers without giving proper credits, wag nyo nang dalhin yung mga ibang tao na hindi involved doon sa usapan. Kasi mas lalong napaghahalata na may vendetta kayo kay Heart eh. 'Di ba? So 'yon. Okay, ano na ito nakakaloka tong user account mo, non. It's not about the invites. It's about not taking someone else's work without credit. Okay? Okay. Blair Wanderlust. Okay, I know I made some grammar mistakes in my post, but if you are only able to question the grammar and not correct yung bad behavior, I think you're focusing on the wrong things. Okay, you should be focusing on why did someone post a content? Why did an influencer post a content that is not theirs and make it appear that it was? That is the question that you need to answer, not correct my grammar, because I know I made mistakes. Kapag nagmamadali akong mag-post, post na lang ng type. And sometimes, tao lang din naman ako na kapag nagmamadali nag-post, hindi na ako nagpo-proofread, nagkakamali ako ng posting. So, yes, I do make mistakes on grammar, but but the mistake on grammar, on the past, present, and past participle na mga tenses, but does not take away from the question of morality, the issue of swiping content. Okay? Sabi ni Carmela Diaz, hindi magtatagal yan, mauubos resources niya. Mention din niya si YSL Sanis. Yes, I think I did mention earlier. Tapos sabi ni Nima, parang si Pia is coming off across as sobrang greedy na. Okay? These are comments from you guys. I'm just reading them as of this moment. So, there. Sabi ni Carmela Diaz, I agree with your insight. Okay? Sabi ni NY, may mga enabler dito. I kinda agree kasi why ask these questions to me when I am trying to clarify or make sense with the situation? Why don't you ask these questions to the right people, to Pia, to her team? Why did they post something that is not their content? Diba? Okay? Sabi ni Meg, lahat ng post ni Pia, if hindi siya yung gumawa, meron pa din siyang consent. She's responsible whatever is posted on her account. Okay? I think yun na yung pinaka mga pertinent na mga comments and posts from you guys. So I am thankful that a lot of you have stayed throughout this entire conversation. And I hope that over all of these, mess, all of these, this chaos, we focus on asking the right questions. It's not about, it's not about making excuses. Okay? It's about taking ownership of the mistake and then apologizing to the right people that is affected. Kasi kung kaya nating gawin yon, I'm sure kaya din ng iba na gawin din yon. I also hope that in the future, we are more, we are more open-minded and more mature to question wrongdoing. Kasi if we tolerate wrongdoing, kapag hinayaan natin na yung mga tao na iniidolo natin, hayaan na magnakaw, gumawa ng hindi kanais-nais na mga bagay, it becomes a reflection of us. Because when we tolerate wrongdoing, ultimately, we become the same people that we tolerate. When we allow people that are close to us, that are our role models, to behave badly, to not correct their mistakes, then it creates a society where ginawa naman niya so pwede ko rin gawin. So that becomes a terrible society because you tolerate wrongdoing, and everybody, when everybody does that, when everybody tolerates, wrongdoing, it becomes, a societal problem. Okay? The moment that we allow, ang mga tao na magnakaw sa kaban ng bayan, ultimately tayo din naman ang maaapektuhan nun Kasi on a morality standpoint, if we allow and we tolerate people to do such things, we also allow ourselves to do such things in the future because we become desensitized to wrongdoing. So I think we need to start, putting people at a higher, not higher pedestal, but rather higher standard of better, better attitudes, better morality, higher morality, higher standards, stricter standards when it comes to behavior. Kasi kung hindi natin kino-call out yung mga tao sa mga maling ginagawa nila, lalala yung mga ginagawa nila. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba, kung ang kapatid ng sinungaling, kapatid ng magnanakaw ang sinungaling, it starts off from lying, and then you lie with bigger things, and then you start making bigger mistakes. You lie about the things that you did wrong, and then you start creating bigger lies to cover up the smaller lies. And ganun yung nangyayari It starts with the small things and it becomes bigger and bigger until sumasabog na sa mukha natin yung mga consequences ng mga ganitong mga ginagawa. So let's not accept this type of bad stuff. Let's not accept terrible wrongdoings that is na pwede pang i-correct at this moment. Okay? Kasi when we tolerate, when we tolerate lying, stealing, and such, we become what we tolerate. So, I do hope na hindi tayo umabot sa ganon. Okay? Ayun. So, I think there is a need for us to really evaluate yung nangyayaring ito because when a role model acts, badly this way and not take accountability with the wrongdoings that they do, lumalaki lang yung ego nila, and because of that, they will go on to do bigger, more terrible things. And agapan sana habang kaya pang agapin. Okay? So, I do hope, this is a enlightening conversation to the rest of you guys. I know it's a topic na painful for some of the fans, especially fans ni Pia, who are in the denial stage. If you're familiar with DABDA, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance, I think they are still at the denial phase. So, hintayin lang natin na tawag ito na umabot sila doon sa point, doon sa tawag ito, doon sa grief journey nila na umabot sa dulo ng acceptance. Okay? And also, let's not stop, from calling out wrongdoings that we see, because when nobody calls wrongs, if nobody corrects these wrongdoings, it becomes terrible for our society. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone, for everyone who joined our live stream this evening. Thank you very much for making this live stream, a very interesting one. Okay? I hope na sa susunod na topic natin, you are more participative and more open to yung mga discussions na like this, because I think dapat na natin pagtuunan yung inclusivity issue ng Miss Universe that we are having issues on. And I will be presenting some instances na tawag ito na we really need to address in terms of Miss Universe having to walk their walk and not just talk their talk. Okay? Next live stream, we will do it next weekend, and we will be focusing on the issue on the inclusivity problems of the Miss Universe organization. Okay? Thank you very much for joining, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Before we leave, please leave a thumbs up and share this live stream to your friends so that mas marami yung makakita at makapanood ng ating live stream. Thank you very much to everyone who joined in the conversation. Sa lahat ng mga nag-comment, maraming salamat. Good or bad, it was a very enlightening na experience to have this with you guys. Okay? So thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.